when you're talking.
All right, man. Yeah, so everybody, welcome back in. Another episode of Mark Lesko Podcast, joined by Matt from Penn State Jerseys. Once again, to talk, some of the latest Penn State news. Matt, you were in town recently for the spring game, and we got Trevor Pena. Finally got another good receiver, so we should be pretty set there. But how you doing, man?
Doing good. It was a fun weekend. The game was good. Actually liked the format of the game. I know a lot of people were reluctant to go out. Looked like it was going to rain, but luckily the rain just kind of passed Friday night and was done, Saturday early morning. So we got a good full clean game on Saturday. It was a good turnout, for missing one side of the stadium. I thought it was a pretty good turnout.
Yeah, so they didn't put anybody on that side at all.
Yeah, all the W side was all just blocked off.
Okay, yeah. So we get Pena from Syracuse, which is a good pickup. Something I'm happy about. He's going to be a good slot guy for us, but that really sets our receiver room up well. And we got the running backs already, obviously. We got the defense. That's not a problem for us. So overall, it's just a good situation.
Yeah, I mean, I told you guys 2 months ago when I came on that they're going to get 2 all-conference caliber players in the portal, a minimum, and that was even after receivers. There's one.
You said receivers,
and there's going to be. Don't be surprised if there's one more.
I wouldn't be surprised. So who would be the second guy you think?
Well,
player, let alone receiver. Who's the second player?
I mean, I think it's clear that linebacker, especially with Tamir Robertson leaving, is shifting their focus. I think that caught everyone a little bit off guard in terms of him transferring. I understand it because they're only going to play a lot of 2 linebacker sets. I think Anthony Specca bodes well for him. There's a reason why Robertson transferred, and I think Specca was probably the reason. I thought he played well last year, but listen, we're going to be playing potentially 16, 17 games. Depth is going to be something that at every position is going to be tested, not only with us, with every team. Got about 100% injury rate with football. So I think their focus in terms of maybe remaining NIL dollars and roster spots is probably going to wind up now shifting to linebacker. So I don't see a priority path for them to get a receiver unless someone came to them, because they've already pretty much cleared house with 3 real quality receivers in the portal right now. The need is at linebacker. And Franklin made that pretty clear in his press conference. I have 4 years of eligibility left, but I don't know how much I would help. But I wouldn't be surprised if they got both linebackers, both the kid from North Carolina and from Rutgers. I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay, so receiver, how do you think we're sitting right now?
I think we're sitting really good. I think we're sitting great. I mean, Ross. Listen, you only saw limited action during the blue-white game, but he had a really nice catch on the sidelines. I thought he ran some nice routes. Obviously, it's a very controlled environment. Had a really good game versus Iowa last year, which really stood out. Obviously, was really good, probably his best competition he saw all last year. But the reason why I like the receiving core is because football is a game of matchups, right? And now you have a situation where this offense, when you have Pena, you have Ross, you have Hudson, and you have either Dinkins or Reynolds, you have the most quality depth at receiver that you've had since the team that went to the Rose Bowl, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to be hard to I mean, which one of those guys do you double, right? And if you double one or two of those guys are going to have a favorable matchup against a safety or a linebacker or a slot corner. And that's why I've always been a big proponent of teams that have 3 quality receivers. That offense takes off to a different level because you're always going to have 1 or 2 favorable matchups on every single play. Because a lot of teams in college football, there's not many that are 2 or 3 deep at quality corner. It's just a harder position group traditionally to accumulate, that much front end talent.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like you're talking about which Rose Bowl team? 2009 or
2016?
All right. Well, yeah, 2009 too. We had D. Wills, we had Deion Butler, Jordan Norwood, and then back then we had Chris Godwin, and we had some weapons on that 2016 team.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, now you really do have everyone you need, man. Franklin, he got into it with a fan at the spring game. I guess the guy called him a fraud.
Someone said something about the price. Again, allegedly, someone asked him about like the price of snake oil. That's what I read somewhere, that he was kind of alluding to, that he was a snake oil salesman. I mean, listen, if he thought he was a student, okay, I could see like, hey, a teaching moment, he's trying to correct a behavior of another student there. Ultimately, in those situations, vast majority of the time, there's really no winners, and you're really better off just ignoring the situation. Or if he's using bad language or he's hostile, you just ask one of your assistants to go get one of the security and tell them to shut up or get out of there. But I don't know. I don't think him getting involved brings much upside for him. I think it just creates more liability. So I don't see many winners in that. I think you just ignore it and move on.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll pull this up. So like Ohio State, when he's going off the field and he gets in the guy's face, the guy's like yelling at him.
Which guy? Show me.
The guy that was for Ohio, after the Ohio State loss this year. There was a fan like yelling at Franklin, like yelling in his face.
Oh, okay. When he was in the tunnel.
Yeah, and he goes and he talks to him, like he says something back. So this is the video here. What's he doing? Is he trying to? I thought he was trying to get him to come down to talk.
I thought I heard he said something about after the game coming and talking to him. I mean, again, I hope it's a student and he's just trying to use that as like maybe a teaching moment to a student there at the school, but no winners in that. Not worth it for him to engage. If he's using foul or abusive language, you just get security, get involved, and take care of it. I don't think that. I think if you had to do it over, he'd probably just forget about it.
Yeah. So the thing is, all right. So he's yelling at this guy. He's responding to him.
I mean, he's done this a couple times. I remember there was an incident. I forget what of the game was that, where the guy one of the players got pretty heated also as well, walking out. I think it was Vega, like stood up for him. One of the fans were like trashing him after the game. I think it was like 2 years ago.
Yeah. So when he was leaving the Ohio State game, he asked him for his name.
I think one of the students, yeah, he was like hanging over the side. Yeah, I mean, like, listen, coaches invest a lot in, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I just bring this up because, you know, you were at the game. He's coming off the field. This guy's yelling at him. And
Well, I think he said "F you" to him. I mean that you.
yeah, so the
I
guy
mean,
leaves. I mean, it's
not a fan of the hat. I mean, that guy needs a little fashion advice going to a football game. It's like
that's another thing too.
It's like a leather jacket and a. Also, yeah,
I
you
just bring it up,
can't
man,
do that. You can't do that.
Yeah, I mean, I bring that up because, you know, we have all these great players, man, and we've had a lot of talent. We've had a lot of great players. And for me personally, like when we get like a guy like Trevor Pena, like that's awesome. But and we haven't really had receivers as of late, but it feels like no matter who we have, like we can't beat Ohio State or Michigan or win like the Notre Dame game was a big game because that was to go to the national title. And it sucks because it's Notre Dame. I hate Notre Dame. They didn't have nearly as much talent as we had, and we lose again. So it's like that's why fans say stuff to him like that. That's why they get so mad because they're like, "Dude, what's going on here? You can't ever beat Ohio State."
No, who can beat Ohio State though? The past 4 years,
Michigan, past 4 years.
But obviously there's a reason why, and you're starting to see that unfold. And they are going to get penalized. I mean,
either way, Penn State, I don't know, man. Historically, Franklin, he's beaten Ohio State one time. He's beaten Michigan, I don't know how many times, but his record against them is horrible. So my point
is everyone else's. You know, that's the problem. So is everyone else's. What I would say as a program, we are, I think, better positioned to compete with Ohio State overall, better now than we were 4 years ago.
Yeah, like Nick Saban, he didn't have a bad record against good teams. Ryan Day doesn't. Jim Harbaugh, I don't think he did either. But you know, those are just some examples of guys that.
Yeah, but I mean, Nick Saban's the greatest coach of all time, college football.
Joe Paterno.
I mean, Joe's up there, but I mean, Nick Saban, man. I mean, got to give the man his due. Got to give the man his due.
I mean, to me, like we get Trevor Pena, it like solidifies our receiver room, and I'm still like, we'll see. Like, I don't know. We'll see, man.
Yeah, but
Smith and Ryan Williams on our team, and I would still be like, yeah, we'll see. Because Franklin has not won a truly big game yet. He is not.
Well, I mean, what I would say is this. I think one thing that has been clear over the past 3 years, since NIL has become a lot more prominent, that what Coach Franklin was saying the several years before that about budgets, facilities, analysts, paying top coaches, we were really behind Ohio State. And I think that really was kind of brought into light over the past 3 years because of the NIL money being front of everyone. Now, I think we're closing the gap there. I think we have over the past several years. I think the transfer portal, Penn State has done it exceptionally well in the transfer portal. Look how many really good guys they've brought in. They've lost next to no one, right? You know, Ohio State, I mean, they lost Joe Burrow, Jameson Williams. I mean, they've lost some other good guys. We've done very well. So, I mean, listen, I'm as frustrated as anyone else. We haven't been able to beat Ohio State as much as I think we could reasonably expect, which to me is once every 4 years, one recruiting cycle. We should be beating them. But ultimately, I think we're well positioned moving forward. And we're not alone, right? I mean, it's not like we're the only good team that's losing to Ohio State, right? So there's not much further we need to go to get where we want to be. You know, in those last couple spots, going from a top 5 or 6 team to the top team in the country, that's often a harder ladder to climb than going from 20 to 10. So, but listen, you got to be, this season, you have to be the most excited about any season going into it in quite a long period of time. I mean, the amount of quality depth and experience they have at every single position unit, maybe a little thin at linebacker, right? But you're returning an all-conference caliber player at every single position group and quality depth. So you got Michigan, redshirt for, freshman quarterback. I'm going to tell you now, between now and the season starts, there's going to be more noise coming out of there with the investigations. That's going to create some additional distractions. I mean, let's not forget Sharon Moore deleted about 36 text messages. That is going to come to light more now that he's the head coach, when other things around that program start to boil over. Because everyone, when that came out, was more focused on Coach Harbaugh. But now that's going to be front and centered and reintroduced. I'm telling you, that's going to be a distraction for the team this season. There's going to be things that are coming out about the number of investigations that are going on there. Now, Michigan will weather the storm over the next year or two. They're a big brand. Ohio State, they're breaking in a brand new quarterback. I'm not as concerned about that if I was an Ohio State fan, with losing Denzel Burke, losing your whole defensive line, Sawyer, Talik Williams, all those guys. Travion Henderson, you lose Junkins. Yes, Jeremiah Smith is an amazing player. But again, the game is won in the trenches.
You muted yourself there, Matt. You good? Yeah.
So to me, I feel good about that matchup. And again, we don't have to beat Ohio State. We don't have to beat Oregon earlier in the year to go where we want to go, and that's a national championship game. We just have to be one of the top 12 teams in the country.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's cool that they got Trevor Pena. I thought he'd be on the roster. He'd be on the depth chart. Our lads is usually pretty good. But what number will he be? Do you know?
I'm not sure. I don't think he's going to be number 2. Obviously, Liam Clifford's 2, and then Collins is number 2 on defense. So,
yeah, we absolutely needed another receiver, which is awesome.
No question.
And like I said, on defense, we're good. Running back, we're good.
Outside of linebacker, and I think we'll get one, if not both those guys.
Yeah, so with the addition of Trevor Pena, Aller has everything he needs, man. I mean, he has a tight end too, run game, he has good line. So, I mean, I've been saying it this will be like the 3rd year I've said it, because Aller was the starter. Before, with Sean Clifford, I wasn't sure what was going to happen, but with Aller in his 3rd and final year, I mean, did they get it done? They have everything, man. They have everything they need.
The only thing that will hold this team back is injuries. That's it. If you have a situation like, was it 21 or 22? Remember, all those guys got hurt. That would be the only thing that derails this team from making a deep playoff run and legitimately having a shot to win the national championship. They
Okay.
literally have at least one all conference caliber position player, receiver, tight end, running back, their safeties, secondary guy. I'm telling you, watch Elliott Washington, number 9. He's going to have an all Big Ten type year at corner. He's going to have a better year than Jaden Kimber did last year. I'm telling you right now. So I think the 2 corners between Washington's development and another year from Harris are going to be better than Kimber and Harris were last year. Wheatley is going to have a tremendous year at safety. Listen, missing Jalen Reed, that's going to hurt. But even back to last year, Mark, all right? Shit. Kevin Winston, by all accounts, is going to be an All-American safety. We lost him. And what's the one play we lost on? When Jalen Reed slipped there in that game versus Notre Dame. I have no doubt that Penn State's playing the national championship game if Kevin Winston is healthy all last year. Or if Lambert Smith doesn't transfer.
Yeah, Kevin Winston.
Either one of those, and they're playing in the national championship game.
So the fact that Penn State, they did not have good receiver play last year, is that why they lose to Notre Dame? Is that why they don't make the national title game?
I think if Lambert Smith doesn't transfer, they're in the national championship game. They didn't need that much, right? I think if they played Notre Dame 10 times, they'd win 7.
Yeah,
that may
absolutely.
not be a popular opinion, but I mean, the team was stacked, right? And Drew didn't have his best game. He was off. He missed, some throws by a little bit, but that's behind us. That we could replay that game for the rest of our life. We can replay the 99 Minnesota game or the 2005 Michigan game or the 2008 game at Iowa or 2016 versus Ohio State. I mean, we can go on and on. But looking forward to the season, I haven't been that realistically optimistic about their chances to win a national championship in quite a period of time.
Yeah, I mean, Winston being out was huge. That was definitely a huge loss for them all year. He still got drafted. Here's another thing too. If he played this year, he's probably a first-round pick. I mean, he was that good.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
So, yeah, man. I mean, we got AJ Harris, we got Ellie Washington, we got
Collins is going to be good. Zion Tracy, Ski Wheatley.
We got
Max back,
Rojas, King back, Anai White, and then on the offense, what's crazy is the offense is so star-studded, but that's been.
But it's the offensive line. I mean, Cooper Cousins is going to be an all-conference player. Cooper Cousins is going to be and this may be a bold statement, Cooper Cousins is reminding me of a Zach Martin.
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised if he is in the league for 10 years and goes to 7 Pro Bowls. I think
I know he is good, man. He's very good.
Yeah. And you look at where he is now compared to last year, to me is a strong indicator of his work ethic. And how much Franklin spoke about him last year just being a freshman. There's a reason why JB Nelson, who played some nice football for us, decided to transfer. And number 50 is a big reason for that.
Yeah, he's definitely a very hardworking guy, up-and-comer. He was talented coming out, and Franklin always talks about what a crazy work ethic he has. So,
he's arrived, man. I'm telling you, your first game of the season, you'd be like, he's going to be an all Big Ten. Worst case, second team, all Big Ten.
Brett, what do you think about Pena getting signed?
Huge. I mean, he seems like similar to what we had in the role as Parker Washington, man. similar size. Parker was thicker. He had more weight and muscle on him, but shifty, not the fastest guy in the world, but can get open. He has hands. He can catch the ball just like Parker. Somebody said that was a good comp for him, and I agree. Like, we haven't had a Parker Washington since Parker Washington. So if we can get somebody that productive, 600 yards or whatever, because nobody threw the ball more in Syracuse last year. You can look it up. Nobody did. So I'm not saying he's going to have a bad season. He's not going to have 1,000 yards in our offense. It's just not going to happen. But he doesn't need to. We just need somebody who's going to put it up and pick up the slack that Luke Reynolds doesn't get, that Devontae Ross doesn't get, that Kyron Hudson. So like all the new receivers are going to get a nice split load, and I could see them all having 500 yards easy. I mean, we'll take that. 600, 700 for one of them maybe, and then Luke Reynolds with 4 touchdowns. It's going to be a spread offense, and we're going to be able to do whatever we want. We'll run it down people's throats with our offensive line and the 2 running backs we have.
It's not just 2. I mean, 3. Martin's good.
Yeah, Quentin Martin, Corey Smith.
Wallace. Corey Smith. I mean, he was fast as hell, man.
Yeah, Corey Smith. He's been looking really good. He needs to put on a few pounds still, but hey, they can still throw him in there for gadget plays and like wheel, like a wheel route. He can catch the ball out of the backfield just like Quentin Martin can. So all the Penn State's guys can technically play receiver too. They not actual receiver, but they can go out and catch passes. So Trevor Pena was a huge get, and I don't think they gave him $2 million, but I imagine they gave him a good chunk. So,
well,
doesn't really matter, but
he's here. I mean, and I was talking about this, Mark, before he came on. I mean, what it does, it changes the whole dynamic of the offense with 3 quality receivers, because I mean, football is a game of matchups, right? And so now that you have 3 quality receivers and you have Reynolds and you have Dinkins on every single play, Aller's going to potentially have, and more than likely, vast majority of the time, that 3rd or 4th receiver is going to be on a linebacker, strong safety, someone where he has a matchup advantage. So last year, when plays broke down, Tyler Warren was the oh shit guy. Oh shit, plays breaking down, find him and throw it to him. Now they're going to be running really a more pro style offense, where in the pros, you don't really have that, where if something breaks down, just throw it in someone's direction because the defense is too good. You're going to have 1 or 2 guys that are always going to be in a very favorable matchup. That's what depth gives you, right? And so none of these guys also are like, they're really good, but would you double any of them? Maybe one of these guys by the end of the year progresses. So to me, that even speaks to more schematically why all 3 of these guys should all, to your point, have 500-600 plus yards over the course of the year. I don't expect Drew to throw a lot of interceptions this year because of those favorable matchups. He's not going to be forced into just, hey, Omari Evans isn't open deep and Harrison Wallace is in short intermediate and they're triple teaming Tyler Warren. Like he didn't have a lot of options, leads to go through. If Warren wasn't open, Wallace was solid. I would have loved to have Wallace back this year for depth, but after that, it was like, okay.
Same.
Like, there wasn't a lot of windows, and we saw the film breakdown week after week. I mean, there was a lot of tight windows, and Kotelnicki really had to go deep in his playbook schematically to get guys open rather than our guys last year just getting open one-on-one by either speed or precision in running their routes. It's going to be a much different ball game this year. It's going to be a much different ball game.
Yeah. So Brett, you think like losing to Notre Dame, we did the post game. You said he doesn't have any receivers, which he didn't. Do you think this makes a difference, having these three guys like this?
If we had one or two of these guys against Notre Dame, we win by 10. It's simple as that. Like, let's just be honest here.
That's for sure.
Because Warren was being double or triple teamed the whole game. If we had these guys, even if they focused on Warren, these guys were getting open. Like, at least one of them. Trevor Pena, like, he runs nice routes, man. Devontae Ross runs nice routes. Kyron Hudson, they all run nice routes. That's not something. Omari Evans did not, as much as I liked him when he was here, like, I root for anybody who's at Penn State. I root for all of them. He was a deep guy. His short intermediate route running was not good. I mean, if you look at the replay against Notre Dame, he knew he was the fourth read, so he was out there lollygagging, didn't do anything. You got to run every route like it's to win the game. You have to run every one like that if you want to win. So, yeah, all these guys can run routes. Harrison Wallace ran good routes. He just couldn't always get open. He wasn't physical enough at the point of attack. Coming off the line, he wasn't physical enough. Some reps he won. He's not a bad receiver. No, he could go to Ole Miss and play. He could have a good year. Amari Evans could have a good year. Maybe in a different system, they figure it out. It's a year later too. So I mean, you can't get worse, unless they're playing with an injury. Then you can get worse. But hey, I'm rooting for him. But yeah, with the guys we brought in, it feels different, like in my chest, right? Like in my stomach, like there's not that nervousness going in, like, oh, we gotta have like they went out and got 3 receivers. That's never happened. And it had to happen because they're looking at it as, and they're not going to say this, but natty or bust. That's what they're looking at. And I'm not saying they have to win it, but like,
they do. They do.
They need to win it. I agree. But if they get there and fight hard, whoever they play, like Texas spent $40 million. Texas spent $40 million on the offseason on their roster and the transfer portal. So if we lose to a team that spent $40 million more than Ohio State spent last year, I'll live with it. I'll be heartbroken for a long time, but I'll live with it. But if we can make it to the Natty, I want us to win it. Trust me, I do. If we can make it there and fight hard, let's say we're losing a close one, that's a successful season. But we need to win it.
Yeah. Like, are we – so, okay. So when it comes down to at the end of the day, that's another thing too. Are we spending enough money? Like, are we in a position?
We're fine.
After all said and done, is to win it all?
We're fine.
We spent a lot of money to retain our roster.
How much have we spent?
Think about it, dude. Drew's probably getting $2 or $3 mil to stay. He's probably getting $2 or $3 mil. Nicholas Singleton's probably getting 1.5. I don't know what he's getting. 1.5, $2 mil. Katron Allen probably $1 mil. Like, they're all getting money. Think about it. They're all getting the players that they retain. Zane Durant, he's probably making a killing, right? Like, he's probably I don't know. The guys who are staying are making money, though. That's for sure. I don't know how much. We're never going to find out a number. Penn State's really good about keeping that under wraps. Any other school, you can find out. Ohio State, Texas, like, all the info's out there on how much they spent. You'll never hear that about Penn State because we don't have that bravado to us. We don't have that, like, we don't give a crap mentality. This is how much money we spent. Like, there's a humility in the locker room. There's a humility in the program at Penn State. So we're not going to be speaking out on how much money we spent. But those guys are getting paid for sure. They're getting taken care of. So
no one's doing anything for free this year.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, I agree with you in terms of like the locker room and stuff. But that's one thing about it is, yeah, like we can be, because Ohio State, right? Like I respect them as a program. I respect them. I hate them.
Yeah.
More than any program in the country. I think Ryan Day is just like he's just like a corny guy. Like, Ohio versus the world. Like, dude, shut your mouth. Seriously. Like, Ohio State versus the world. It's like, what world are you in, bro? Like, everybody like seems to like you guys. All right, so Ohio State fans, as they're one of the biggest groups of morons on earth, they've been coming at us saying they had higher attendance last year. All right. I've seen 3 different sources that says over the last 5 years, we've had higher attendance. We have a bigger stadium, higher percentage of attendance last year. That's one thing they've been saying. I don't know if they're just trolling, but that's not true at all. So the fan base is insufferable, but Ryan Day, again, I just think he's like a corny guy. And they're like, at the end of the year, they're like, yeah, we won. And you say to yourself, yeah, you guys spent an astronomical amount of money to put this team together. So, of course, you won.
Yeah.
I mean, so it a lot of it comes down to, because Ohio State, they pretty much bought that national title last year. Will Howard, nothing special, man. Nothing special at all. They had Jeremiah Smith. They had like some good running backs. They didn't have like, dude, our running back room is better than Ohio State's running back room. To me, I think they're better. And
especially
they didn't have anybody that outstanding.
Especially
They just had a lot, like Caleb Downs. You know, they bought guys like Matt. Like, what do you think about that? Like Ohio State last year, they won it all. I mean, why? I don't think they won it because they were the best team. First of all, they were an 8th seed. If they were doing top 4, they wouldn't have even gotten in, which would have made that Michigan win even. That would have been one of the best days of all time, huh?
A loss, you mean? They're lost to Michigan. Ohio State's lost to Michigan, you mean?
Yeah. Ohio State's lost to Michigan. So, like, the fact that they bought that, the fact that they had that much money in their roster, I mean, is that why they won last year?
You give them credit. They're organized. They have their NIL in order. I mean, listen, they're running it like a professional program. It's no longer cheating. It's legal. So, I mean, listen, they, like some of the coaches in the Big Ten joke, the SEC had a 30-year head start on this, To begin with, you heard a lot of kind of commentary like that. But I mean, listen, we're not doing anything that much differently this offseason, right? With our 3 receivers, and we're going to get, we got the kid from Texas A&M, and I'm going to tell you right now, Max Granville is going to be the other starting defensive end outside Dennis Sutton. He's going to be an absolute monster.
And Dry Fisher,
yeah. I have him, Luke Reynolds, and Cooper Cousins as my 3 breakout guys across the team.
And we have a Nye White too,
Yeah. I mean, you're going to need depth, like we said earlier in the show, Mark. Like, you're playing 16, 17 games. You're going to miss. Guys are going to miss games.
Yeah.
You just hope it's not quarterback, because that's the only position that would be hard to sustain beyond like a game. But
we got good backups. Hey, I'll tell you what. I mean, they look good. I mean, I know it's a spring game, but what's his name? Jackson Smolik, for coming off an injury, he moves good, man.
I was surprised because Grunkmeyer seemed to pass him last year before the injury on the depth chart. Obviously Grunkmeyer got in the playoffs last year, had that one kind of mix up on the interception, but
yeah.
I mean, listen,
could be a battle for QB too.
Yeah, and I think it's good for both of them, right? I mean, ultimately it's just gonna push both of them. I mean, I would love to have Prabula back, just because quarterbacks get hurt, right? I mean, 16, 17 games. I mean, that would have been a nice security blanket, but you can't have everything.
Let's do a hot take. Well, I don't know if it's a hot take, but out of the 3 receivers we got, who do you think's going to have the best year? I'll go first. Devontae Ross. I think he's going to have the best, because he's shifty, man. He's quick. He runs good route. I think he's going to have the best year out of all of them. I think the easy answer is Trevor Pena, because he came in with,
you stole my thunder. Yeah. I mean, I think he's going to have I think Ross is going to have 25% more yards than the next guy. I think he's going to be that good. I mean, again, watching him, even his body control, he had this one sideline catch.
Yep.
During the game. I mean, again, there's no defenders, but still, athletes when you see them. You don't necessarily need the defenders, and obviously there's going to be there. But yeah, I think he's going to have a really nice year, and that type of depth sets up quality years for a guy like Tyrese Denmark, who now is going to have like a nickel corner on him, right? He's going to have like their third or fourth defensive back when he's in the game. So don't be surprised if whoever steps up as that fourth receiver winds up having a really nice year just because of the depth in front of them, and the other teams are going to have to, have nickel and dime backs on our fourth receivers. So I can see one of those guys having, a really nice year, 200-300 yards, maybe a handful of touchdowns, something like that. I think we're going to throw the ball a lot. I think we're going to score a lot of points. I mean, this 94 was a special team.
Yeah.
But have you been more excited about an offense since 94 that Penn State's going into a season with? And probably not.
2017, maybe. You can say that because it was 16.
Well, they lost Godwin, right? That's the part. Like, and I remember, dude, I remember I went to that Rose Bowl. I remember it was when I saw the announcement that Chris Godwin was leaving for the NFL a couple days after the Rose Bowl.
You're like, no.
I remember told my wife at the time, fuck, we're not winning the national championship next year.
He was that good.
That's the one guy they needed to come back, and it would have been a slam dunk.
Yeah. Chris
Godwin. We're spending $16.8 million on football.
That's
this year.
Not true. That's
how much is it?
It's fake news. Okay, I'll just tell you that's fake news.
That's athletic department. That's probably not football.
That's not on football. No.
Football.
And Mark, are you talking about like total salaries, total quote unquote? How much money they pay the players in total?
Athletic department revenue to the football program. So that's how much comes from the athletic department, since we're paying from the school directly. So how much total is Penn State football dishing out?
70% of that. Probably 70% of that number is what football's getting. Let's be honest. So it's probably, like 11, 12 mil, something like that. I can't do math right now, but that's probably accurate.
So, Matt, how much money is the football team getting then? For this roster, how much is it put together?
I'll just tell you this. It's more than you're estimating. Remember, guys, they had a lot of people step up. Look how many people stepped up for donation for the stadium.
Yeah.
People will start to donate when you have winners, right?
Yeah.
When you win, start to get money. Last year's run in the playoffs engaged a greater fan base than any time in the Franklin era.
Yeah.
And people aren't stupid. They see the way the roster is coming together. And next year is a legitimate opportunity to win national championship, right? There's no more Alabama. There's no Florida States of the 90s. They have a legitimate chance to win it next year. And a lot of people know that, who are involved and want to see that.
I have a good question. Do you guys know, since Keandre Lambert-Smith left, why has nobody taken number 1? Do you think Trevor Pena is going to get number 1? Why has nobody took it yet? Isn't that weird?
Well, Jalen Reed was number 1 last year.
I mean, on offense. Nobody's been number 1 on offense since Lambert left.
You know what?
It's weird. I don't know why, but it's a good number. Why would you not take it? Nobody wanted it, I guess.
Yeah. That's a really good question. And I don't know if it had to do with Lambert-Smith.
My thing is, Trevor Pena was number 2 at Syracuse. Number 2 is Clifford, obviously. So the only number left really that is decent is 1, because after that, what do you have? All the other numbers are taken.
Clifford should
number
give it to him.
Number 8 maybe on offense? We don't have a number 8. We have 8 on defense, and that's what's his name?
Dude, Liam Clifford should be wearing like 99. He doesn't deserve a good number.
No, don't say that, dude. He deserves. He's a good person. He deserves number 2.
Matt.
No,
so where you hearing this this number for the revenue, the NIL? Like I really just to compare because Texas spent 35-40 million. You know what I mean? So
ours is probably 20 mil. I could see that.
I don't know how they get 35 or 40 mil.
I don't know.
I don't know how that adds up. You just go up and down the.
But guess what? They're not going to be able to do that once the cap comes because it's going to be 22 mil or something for each team in college football once the cap comes in. So they won't be able to.
So that'll be for revenue sharing paid directly from the school. But the other part that needs to be hashed out is what about the collective money, right? Like that's separate. Now, I do think there needs to be legislation right away regarding that. And, you even heard today, I know President Trump was with Nick Saban at an event in Alabama, and he was encouraging him to maybe put forth some executive orders around this to try to create some balance and stability. Because I give Saban credit, like we are trending towards there just being like 25 teams competing in college football, and that's it. And I don't know if that's good for college football. I don't know if that's good. I don't know if that's sustainable.
I mean, if you're like Illinois or something, and
you're in no man's land,
and you don't have a bunch of money coming in, like you're never ever gonna be relevant. You're
just gonna lose your players, right? You're gonna lose your Hudsons, your Rosses, those quality guys that if their teams aren't gonna compete for a conference championship, they're gonna leave. Right. So Penn State, just as an example, like they started originally poaching like what schools, right? Like, okay, Mitchell Tinsley, Western Kentucky, right? Then you start to move up. Oh, Chop Robinson, Maryland. Now Trevor Pena from Syracuse, right? Hudson from USC. These aren't just transfers from MAC schools anymore. So that's going to continue. I don't know if it's good or bad for college football, but I think we all as fans want one transfer portal window, which should be for maybe a month after the national championship game ends, and that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know any administrator or any coach I would say, oh, let's have a transfer portal, then let's have you go through all our spring practice, learn our plays, learn our installs, and then open up free agency again. That's stupid. Doesn't make any sense for anyone involved. So they're going to fix that. Should be one window, and that's it. And they're going to start to move towards contracts, which is good. So if the player wants to leave, great. You got to pay a buyout. If the school wants to let you go and free up a scholarship, they have to pay a buyout. It's simple.
So do you think even though Texas is spending that much money on NIL and we're spending however much we're spending, like, do you think we can still beat them? Because it's going to be
I mean, listen, because again, some of that are on your freshmen and sophomores who may not be playing that much, right? They still had to pay Arch Manning a lot last year. He didn't play.
He made a lot.
Yeah, but he's still sitting.
I mean, like $4 million for not playing, or like he played a couple of crappy games, but
yeah. I mean, listen, dude, they lost their best defensive back, they lost their best receiver, they lost their best lineman, they lost their starting quarterback. I mean, I just feel really good about our team this year. I'm not even concerned about like what other teams are spending. I'm just looking at, hey, what does your one deep look like across all your units? How much is experience is coming back at tackle, at running back, at your number one receiver, at your tight end, at your quarterback?
Yeah.
I mean, Arch Manning still hasn't played a full season of college football. I'm not saying he's not going to be a really good player, but
every game he looked good in was against nobodies, like total nobodies.
yeah.
So he is fast though. He's a good runner. He's a good runner. That's what they used him for some packages last year, kind of like.
But that's also how you get hurt.
Yep.
You know, that's how you get hurt. So you got to, you know, there's some balance there. I'm not concerned about Texas.
Did you guys talk about the linebacker commit today? Good pickup. Solid pickup. 6'3".
No, we didn't.
Wiggins?
Oh, yeah. So you look at his offers, and this is another example where the casual fan will look at those offers from Kentucky and be like, oh, what the hell are we doing? And I will give this staff credit. I think they've done a tremendous job of identifying good character guys that are good athletes with good bodies that they can grow into and develop.
Yep.
And this to me is an example when you look at his measurables.
6'3".
6'3", that
Long
big,
arms. Yep.
arms look like just get him in the program. Get him with Chuck.
Yep.
Get him with Dion. Get him with Dan. Give him a year or two.
Yep. And from what I heard, he just climbed in the rankings to a 4-star. So that's why his offers aren't like out of this world. Penn State knows what they're doing. Like you said, they've been scouting him. They offered him in October. They saw something in him. His athleticism is very good. So Penn State gets these hidden gems before they blow up in the rankings, like a Drew Aller, like Ethan Grunkemeyer was a 3-star when they offered him. Climbed up to a top 10 QB. So they know what they're doing. They have some of the best scouting in the nation, and they're going to continue to do this every year.
Yeah, and those star ratings really until their senior year are, I think to your point, very deceptive because it's all based on projection. So if you played at a good program and you didn't get much burn your freshman or sophomore year, okay, they may just cap you at a 3-star based on your measurables, but you don't have a lot of film.
Yep.
You know,
the measurables and the film and where they're playing, like Jashir Rogers, one of the best receivers we're getting in 26. He was a 3-star for a while because he plays in Delaware where the competition isn't that great. But then you put him on 7-on-7s and he's torching everybody. It doesn't matter where they're from.
Yeah.
So now he's going up the rankings. Can't wait to get him in here.
Yeah, so they're looking good. And
I mean, look at these top 10 lists right here. You got Allard's number 4, Singleton's number 3. I mean,
the disrespect to Katron in almost every list I've seen, though, is like he's always the second guy.
Dude, how is Zane? How is Zane number 2?
It's just the speed. It's just the speed in the big plays.
I get it, but he bulldozes people, dude, better than anybody. So,
yo, Matt, who does Zane Durant remind you of?
He reminds me of Kevin Givens.
Well, let's go back to like the Joe Paterno days. Who's he remind you of?
Reminds me of like a Spice Adams.
He kind of reminds me of Ollie Ogbu a little bit.
I think he's better.
Yeah,
and Ollie was a nice player.
Yeah,
but he's
even a Jared Audrick. Jared Audrick was good too.
Well, Jared Audrick was the different. He was like our version of Richard Seymour, a poor man's Richard Seymour.
Yeah, but yeah, we pick up the linebacker. You know, obviously the recruits are going to keep coming in, but
we're top.
Yeah, Matt
they
said
have to win the national championship. They win the national championship this year.
They'll get anybody they want. They'll get.
Yeah, so
your
that's the thing.
Picks up, your donors pick up. People will pay for winners. You give them a taste of what it is to win in college football to this fan base who has been so close for so long. People will open up their checkbooks. How do I help?
Absolutely, man. Like the thing is, like last year they were so close. Now I don't think they beat Ohio State if they get to the national title.
Why not? Why not?
Well, Kevin Winston was out, like you said.
Okay, well he was out when we played them during the season. I mean, we had we had the interception in the end zone, which Wallace. I mean, it's a perfect throw by Aller.
Listen, our offense is better than Notre Dame's. We just made a couple mistakes. You make 2 mistakes in that game, we lose.
I would have bet $1 million, Matt, that we wouldn't have beat Ohio State.
I wouldn't have been too sure.
I mean, we never beat them
because
we never beat them, but we're going to beat them in the national championship.
See, I would feel really good because, dude, what you have to remember is like what Penn State would have been playing for at that point in time was a lot greater than what Ohio State was playing for. I mean, Penn State was playing for decades of pain. And Ohio State, I just look at that game that they played in October, and you couldn't tell me on a neutral field that we wouldn't have a chance to win that game.
Man, their fans talk so much shit. It's crazy. Like they have no reason to, but they do.
But they won the national championship. They can say whatever the fuck they want.
They do that. They do that like they breathe oxygen. I mean, like the other day, I texted Brett. I was like, Brett, get on TikTok and answer some of these morons.
You can't. Yeah, dude, you can't even go on there, dude. If you go into social media, you're just going to find negativity. Like for my page I run, someone posts a negative comment about like a video or a picture I share, I delete that and block them. Like I don't have any time for that. Like there's just too much junk there.
Oh, but what we can tell Ohio State fans now is, well, you guys lost to Michigan last year. We didn't lose to them.
We didn't lose to Michigan. Correct.
Because we didn't play.
Correct. We did not lose.
We would have beat Michigan last year, dude. We would have.
Yeah.
Dude, Ohio State fans are insufferable, man. Like they don't even. It's not one of those things where I'm like, man, like they piss me off. No, it's just like they're so stupid. Like they say the dumbest stuff. And sometimes I'll say back, I'm like, you guys won the national title. We never beat you, and you're still talking crap on this Penn State podcast. Like, you know?
It'd be like, yeah. But, listen, college football is changing, and we're in a better spot now than we were 6 years ago.
Yep.
And there's not many people that beat them. Right? There's not. Outside of Clemson and Ohio State and Michigan, those are the only teams that have really consistently beat them. Alabama, Clemson, and Michigan over the past 4 or 5 years. So,
Matt, you were on Landon Tengwell's podcast, right?
He did an interview. I did an interview with him earlier in the year at Campus Stakes on my collection and all my stuff.
Yeah, was that cool?
Yeah, no, it was cool. It was cool. He has for a younger guy, he has a really solid perspective on like the history of the program, Joe Paterno's importance to the program. So I give him a lot of credit. He's really, that really impressed me, about him.
Not that film breakdowns are good. Yep.
Yeah, not that he has to live in the past, but he has a good contextual understanding of the history and how important he was.
Yeah, I met him in the gym the other day. Nice guy for sure. But yeah, I mean it's the Trevor Pena, good pickup, but we'll see. Obviously the fans are still
Mark,
upset.
You're gonna see this year, man. You're gonna see this year.
I hope so.
You're going to see what you haven't seen in a long time.
I mean, like 2008, we came so close. Like we lost to Iowa, and like I cried for like 3 days after we lost to Iowa in 2008.
We got to play it.
2005. Huh?
We got to play at Iowa this year.
2005, lost to Michigan last second. So we've been so close. 2017, if we didn't lose to Michigan State, we would have been in the playoff.
Oh, they would have gone to the national championship game that year.
Yeah, 2019. If we didn't lose to Minnesota, we would have made the playoff that year.
Minnesota was crazy that year, though. Their defense was very good.
Even 22, man. We lost the only 2 losses were Ohio State and Michigan. Those are the only 2 losses And I mean, and then 23 again, only 2 losses. You know, we should have been in the playoff multiple times.
But we didn't have all the pieces. Now we do.
Yeah, and they were in
Yeah,
the
I mean, we'll see.
Listen, if they were in the ACC, they would have been in every single year.
All right,
They
so
were in the
we
Big
have all
12,
the
they would have
pieces
been in
now,
every
right?
single year.
We have all the pieces now, right?
If we get one or two linebackers in the portal, we have all the pieces. If we don't,
All right,
we're going to get one.
So if we don't win it all this year, what's the answer after that?
Well, we have to see
It
what
gets
it looks
dicey.
like.
Next year it gets really dicey.
It gets dicey next year. But
that's what I'm saying. Like, so we have all the pieces now, right?
Like I said, we have to see what it looks like. If we get to the chip, like we got to see what, like if we get blown out, then yeah, we got some problems. But if, like I said, if it's a close, hard-fought game, I don't know. It just depends on what.
I say no because we don't return anyone next year. We don't return Drew.
No, I get that. I'm just saying, we have to see what it looks like.
Cupboard cleaned out next year.
Like, so my perspective is it doesn't matter who we have on our team. That doesn't mean we're going to win it all because we have Franklin as the coach. That's my perspective. So
we haven't had the pieces like this in a long time.
Well, okay, I know, but now that we do, right? So we got to win it all, right? And if we don't, then what? What's the excuse then?
We do have to win it all.
There is none.
That's what I mean. But if we don't, then what?
$3 million on a defensive coordinator. You spent millions on an offensive coordinator. You have 5 NFL players on your support staff.
So if we don't win it this year, which we should,
it's gonna be a long time until we
under Franklin. It's never ever gonna happen.
It'd probably take a couple years to reset
stuff. Yeah,
reset, and that's not just here. Like it's going to take Ohio State a little bit to reset. They're going to take a step back.
I don't know. I mean, they might take a step back, but it's Ohio State.
They lost 14 players, like 14 super seniors.
Yeah, the defensive line, that was a big thing. Your front seven and your top defensive back. That's
Michigan, they lost a lot too, but they got Bryce Underwood coming in. But anyway, so
that'll take time.
So if they don't win it all this year, what do you think going forward? Like Franklin's if they don't win it this year, man, Franklin's never going to win the national title. Never.
I mean, he's still relatively young in coaching perspective. So I don't know if you could say that in the day and age of the transfer portal where
he's only 54.
Yeah, you could turn over a roster. I mean, listen, look what
the fans hate him. You know
what? I understand there's a portion of the fan base is disappointed by many of the seasons where they had teams that should have made the playoffs, probably at least once or twice. But what I will say is look at the commitment we're making financially as a school now compared to 4 years ago, right? And to me, that really highlights what he was saying. Like, we're really not, like, I'm not really playing with the same kind of salary cap others are.
Right. So if you take Ryan Day, Nick Saban, I'll just leave him out of it because he's different.
I don't think Ryan Day's that great a coach.
Well, I know, but you take Ryan Day, that dude that wears his hair like a 15-year-old teenager, that dude from Texas.
Sarkisian? I don't know if he's
Sarkisian, either. Sarkisian, Day, Jim Harbaugh. You put them with Penn State last year.
Jim Harbaugh was a cheater, dude. He didn't do shit.
Do you think they win a national title with Penn State last year?
I don't think Sarkisian's that good a coach. What has he done?
Jim Harbaugh is a cheater. He's not a good coach.
Jim Harbaugh is and will always be a cheater.
Yeah.
Last year, to me, we were the most talented team in the country. And we didn't win.
I told you we were top 5. I didn't think we were the most talented. No. We were top 5.
We were up there.
Yeah.
So on the defensive line, Ohio State, they won the national title. Defensive line, Ohio State was better than us.
Defensive line, I mean,
They
Listen,
showed.
they proved it, right?
Okay,
The defensive
so
line made the play
They
versus.
showed up.
Penn State had a better defensive line. Linebackers, maybe not.
I don't know, Sawyer, Tyleek Williams, and JTT. I mean, they had a lot of experience, though, Mark, too. Like Abdul
secondary, Carter, I think we had him on the secondary.
I don't know, Downs and Burke. They had good guys, man.
To be honest with you, our secondary is going to be better this year than it was last year.
Well, that's why I just told him. I think Washington is an upgrade over Kimber.
Yep. David Collins is. Yep. He's coming around.
Collins is really good. Now we're gonna miss Jalen Reed, I think. Yeah.
But Zakir Wheatley's going to be a freak. I mean, he was a freak in the playoff last year. He's going to go off this year.
So you think Ohio State was better than us last year?
They have the national championship.
They had the receivers, man. That's why they were better.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You think they were better than us
last year?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just the like, we both had good secondaries, good defensive lines, good running backs. We had a better tight end, but like to your point, like
they had 4 or 5 receivers.
Ibuka's an NFL player. Jeremiah Smith's an NFL player. Like,
I think like
Darnell
Tate. They have.
It just seems like every single year, man.
Picks.
It just seems like every single year we have the most talent. Like Michigan, even Michigan last year, bro. Like I think we were better than that team last year or 2 years ago, 23.
Yeah, we should have beat them at home. We almost had.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like,
yeah. We had no offense that game and still almost came close.
You know, it seems to come down to coaching. Is my greater point. It seems to come down to coaching.
Some of it. We also didn't have Cole Nicky 2 years ago. We had whatever that garbage offensive play calling was for Yurcich.
Yeah, I mean, we have Jim Knowles now. I think getting Jim Knowles kind of solidifies the fact that we're going to win it all.
Yeah.
But it's like, my God, man. Like,
listen,
again, like if we don't win it all this year, man, like I don't think it's the only way, because like even in 2016, you give Franklin credit for bringing that roster together and that coaching staff with Moorhead, but I don't say we like won the Big Ten title because of Franklin. Like I think we won because Moorhead was so good. So because we scored points, man. Like we scored a lot of points that year. Like Knowles,
who hired Moorhead? Who hired him? James Franklin.
Yeah, that's what I know. I give him credit for that. But I would never say I don't. Yeah, I mean, Jim Knowles being here now, saying, being that he stays, I think that guy and his coaching could lead to a national title in the future. But
the biggest thing is Cole Nicky, year 2, he's licking his chops right now.
I mean, dude, we didn't score a touchdown against Ohio State last year on offense. Like why does that happen?
It should have happened.
Harrison Wallace didn't catch the ball, and they didn't give the ball to Tyler Warren one time within the 5 yards.
I know, but that's what I mean.
It's not even that deep. It was right there.
But why though? Like why don't
you got to ask Cole Nicky? So that's, I mean, you're throwing some
crazy.
You're throwing a little shade at Franklin, but I would argue.
I always will, man.
I would argue
he deserves it.
Well, listen. Look back at last year, right? If you want to say, you could make a point that Kodal Nicky's play calling offensively when they were in the red zone at the end of the game versus Ohio State cost them more in that game than any Franklin decision.
But he's the head coach, man. Like at some point you got to take over.
He's not going to pay someone $2 million and say, "Oh, give me that clipboard."
He's the head coach, though. Like if you're not scoring a touchdown against Ohio State as a head coach, you need to make a change of some sort.
He trusted his coach, and his coach messed up.
You got to, dude.
Okay, in 97. Okay, Matt.
You got to empower.
Matt, you remember in 97, right? They're getting blown out by Michigan. You remember that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, at halftime, Joe took the offense.
bro.
Different though.
That's much different than being in a one possession game. And that game was over. As soon as they hit Woodson on that skinny post and he was in, and they were up like 21-0 before they blinked, and then they got their tight end knocked the fuck out. That game was over, man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I just feel like as a head coach, he does not. Game day coaching wise, Franklin's just horrible. But
he's gotten better. Like I said, he's made improvements compared to the past.
Matt, we lost to Notre Dame, man. Like, that's bad.
We lost to Notre Dame for 3 reasons. Okay, we lost to Notre Dame, number one, because, and see, you touched on it, Omari Evans ran a really lazy route. Let's be real. Drew probably shouldn't have down the ball like that, but you saw Franklin's reaction after, like, what the fuck you doing? Like, we told you not to do that. Like, what else do you want the coach to do? He's out of eligibility. He can't go in the game. Yeah. You know, and then the throw in the flat to Singleton. Yeah. You know, he like, you could say Singleton could have caught it, but it's still.
I mean, that was a bad throw, obviously.
It wasn't a perfect throw. You could argue Singleton could have brought it down.
I don't know if Warren catches that ball.
The one behind Singleton a little bit?
Yeah.
It's a harder catch than people think when you're accelerating in the flat and you got to come back and the ball's behind you because your momentum's taking you forward. It looks to some people easier than it actually really is.
I mean, absolutely. Yeah, that is not an easy catch at all. Like, people, bro, there's so many people out there, they never played football. All right. Like, you can see a wide open receiver somewhere and they're like, throw him the ball. It's like, that's not exactly how it works. You just can't, just because someone's open doesn't mean you have to just throw it to them. Especially in the NFL, it's so schemy and stuff. But I mean, it's.
I can't blame Franklin for that loss. I mean, unless you wanted him to say.
No, I don't necessarily blame Franklin. I just, like, we lost, and Aller, man, like I've said in the past, like when Anthony Morelli dropped back, I'm like, oh God, like what's going to happen here? I never knew what was going to happen. When Michael Robinson and Darryl Clark dropped back, you're like, all right, something's going to happen, like in a good way. You're like, all right, let's see. When Sean Clifford dropped back, you're like, please God, don't throw their 4th interception of the game. With Aller, when he drops back, dude, I'm like, shit, I don't know what's going to happen. He doesn't seem confident at all. And, they have Danny O'Brien as his coach, who's also young and upcoming. He's good at it. But, dude, I think he needs, like, a veteran quarterback coach. Like
I obviously think it's just the receivers. I disagree. I think Danny O'Brien knows what he's doing. It's the receivers. I mean, listen, you're not, Mark, you're not even going to recognize Drew Aller after the 3rd game. You're going to be like, oh, is this Kerry Collins? Like, they're going to be that much better on offense.
That is going to be in the archive right there. After the 3rd game, I'll be like,
saved there.
Matt.
Well, what's weird?
I told you about the 2 all-conference players, right?
No, Matt, I don't disagree with you, Matt. Like, I agree with pretty much everything you say. I agree. That's a hot take right there, man.
Have you guys noticed, though, like, Drew, game 1 against West Virginia last year, he dropped back. He was so comfortable. He looked great in that game, right? I understand West Virginia's not the best, but that was his first game of the season.
Quality
on the road. He was comfortable. He had time. He set his feet. And then some games, it might not even be Ohio State or Oregon. Some games he's just skipping around like he's not consistent. And that comes with experience, right? Like if he can just keep his composure, his emotional, be the thermostat, not the thermometer, like he can do it any game against anybody. It's just the whole demeanor, like he's inconsistent with it. So if he can be against West Virginia or against Boise State, like the way he was those games, he played really well. And I wanted to say about Kolnicki's going to learn from his mistakes. Every coach does. I mean, look at Texas last year in the playoff, that goal line set they had. was as bad or worse than Penn State's against Ohio State. You know what I'm talking
it was
about?
worse, way worse.
Texas against Ohio State. Their play
yeah.
calling there was absolutely terrible.
Ran 4 quarterback sneaks.
Oh, it was so freaking bad.
And you know, we've said this before too, Brett. Kotelnicki scored less than 17 points twice in his career, and it was advanced. It was Jim Knowles both times.
So that's good. We have him on our team now. We're good.
Which I'm sure Franklin was like, all right, if you can't beat him, join him. You know, type of thing.
And think about
they scored what 10 points this time against Jim Knowles that last year. I mean, that's like holy crap, dude.
Well, 6 because of the pick 6. So 6 points.
Yeah, here's another thing too. You got these guys coaching against each other in practice now.
Yep.
You know,
iron sharpens iron. I'm telling you, it's gonna happen.
Because like, you do like ones versus ones. So
this is the biggest thing for this year, and then what Andy Kotelnicki did last year with 0 receivers basically and 1 insane tight end and 2 running backs is hard to do, man. He schemed it up. Think about what he's doing right now, licking his chops. He says, okay, we have 3 receivers. Well, any of them could be a star this year. All 3 of them could be consistent. And you got the tight end room and the running backs. He's going to have a heyday. Just think about it. He's going to have a freaking heyday, man.
Think Kerry Collins.
Yeah.
Drew Kerry Aller.
It's going to click for him, I'm telling you.
It is.
Yep.
There's just too much around him for it not to.
Lamar Allard.
You like that? Lamar Allard, man.
Well,
We're not going to see any Lamar Allard this year. That's
Yep.
the thing. I don't want to see any Lamar Allard.
used to be Drew Jackson. That's a better name.
We got Lamar Keith coming next year.
Yeah, man. I mean, we'll see. I mean, they like 23 and 24. They beat like, all right. So 23, for example, they beat the piss out of every other team other than Ohio State and Michigan.
Yeah.
I mean, they dominated Maryland, Rutgers. Like they just beat the crap out of all of them. And then last year, pretty much every other team except like Bowling Green, they just beat up.
Minnesota.
You know what I mean? So, because here's the thing: Mike Tomlin does not win games he's supposed to win. He's an absolute clown. Franklin wins games. Like Franklin is like, I don't know. He's like 96% against the spread against teams that they're favored by.
Yeah.
The fact that he wins the games like Rutgers, Maryland, Iowa, the fact that he wins those year in, year out is like, that's not easy to do that. So that, he's got that going for him too, but we'll see, man. I mean, we'll see how it plays out.
It's going to play out well.
Matt, would you need to go, Matt?
No.
Okay. What'd you think of the draft?
Don't watch it.
You didn't watch it?
So at the Blue White game, I was driving out. My son had a baseball game Thursday, so we were driving out while it was going on. So I didn't watch. I used to love going to the draft. I used to go. I used to go into New York at Theater Madison Square Garden. It was free. Me and my dad used to take me. We'd watch it. It was fun event. I used to love following the draft, the mock drafts, those Streets and Smith magazines. Remember all that stuff like that? That was cool. But my focus just as a fan the past couple of years has really been more Penn State. So draft and they make too much hoopla of it. The time between picks and going on stage. I mean, listen, they're monetizing it great. It's good for everyone, but it's a tougher watch. It doesn't have a lot of flow to it for a football fan who just wants to see like, okay, give me the pick, give me a little breakdown, project some trades, and let's move along. It turns what would be a good 1 hour movie into a 3 hour like snooze fest.
You have a team?
Patriots.
Yeah, they had a good draft, but Abdul goes 3, Warren goes 14. Dude, the Bears passed on him. Like, they passed on him. They got Luther Burden, too. My God, that's crazy that they
That's why they're the
passed on him.
Bears.
Why?
That's why they're Bears. I don't think Caleb Williams is going to be that great. I think it's
No,
just
he's
gonna
not.
be like,
I mean, the man paints his nails. He's a weird. He's something else, man. Like, he is something else. I'll tell you that. But they got Loveland, you know?
that was a bad pick. I mean, he's a good player. I just don't think he was better than Tyler Warren.
It's pretty wild, man. It's pretty wild. Like,
That's why
and
they're
then,
the Bears.
and then Mel Kiper, he had Shedeur Sanders as the best quarterback of all time. You know what's crazy about that? They drafted Cam Ward, and while he's should be shown being drafted, they're playing a Shedeur Sanders highlight.
At the draft?
Like, that has anything to do with Cam Ward. But,
At the draft they were?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't watch any of that stuff.
It's pretty wild, man. Like, they had this guy going high, and then he doesn't go to the 5th round, but yeah. But
the picks are weird this year, man. I don't know. Once you get in like the mid rounds, like I thought some teams made some very unusual picks. Like there were guys that went undrafted that you were like, what? I don't know. There were a lot of good players that were picked at the end, or I don't know, man. It was a weird draft for me.
Yeah, it's not always like the best player, man. Like, you know, a team doesn't always just take the player because they're like the best on the board. Like, they just don't do that.
Like, how does Jaden Kimber not get drafted? Like, at all? How does Jalen Reed barely get drafted?
Yeah. Kobe King, 5th round, 6th round, right?
Well, I mean, it's a little late. I mean, I understand. Hey, listen, a lot of teams in the NFL run a lot of 2 linebacker sets. There's not a lot of like classic middle linebackers.
And he's not a coverage guy, so. Yeah.
But still, I mean, he's a quality player. Reminds me of Patriots had this linebacker from Purdue for like 5. Juwan Bentley reminds me of him. He had a nice little NFL career. But yeah, he should be cashing some paychecks for a while.
And then Devontae Thomas, like he didn't even sign with anybody from what I saw. I didn't see as a free agent. Everybody else did, but him.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
See,
I don't think everybody else did. Like, what's his name? Who was 99? Who was 99?
Yeah, Josiah. That was weird. I don't know why
he signed with somebody, but
yeah, the Chiefs. I was a little surprised he left, and I thought he was really set to have like a breakout year at defensive tackle and solidify himself as like.
He was at eligibility.
Was he Josiah Izzard?
Yeah, he was 6th year.
Was he? Okay, that was. Are you sure?
Yeah. The only reason Fisher is still here is because of all the injuries. Fisher missed like 2 years, man. Zariah Fisher? 2 or 3, actually, right?
Well, dude, they have so many guys coming back, man. Like they have. But yeah, you are right about the draft being a weird one this year. Like it just wasn't that good of a draft. Next year. Dude, there's a guy on Bleacher Report. I forget his name, Kirk Beckhart or something like that. He's on Instagram. He said that Arch Manning is not going to come out for the draft next year because he's making so much in college. And he said something else.
Who knows?
But I think it would be crazy if Arch Manning didn't come out next year. I mean, it'd be cool. For him, like if they don't win a national title, for him to come back, but
Arch will stay. He'll have 2 more years left. He's not going to leave after next year. It'll be his first year starting.
All right, so they got Alonzo Ford's coming back. They got some guys coming back, man. You know,
coming off an injury though.
Caleb Artis, Zane Durant, Deny. Like Zane Durant, man. If he has a year, like, bro, that guy should – like, how big is he?
290. 6'1", 290. He's built like a freaking brick house.
He is 6'1", 292. So because of his height, I don't know if he would be a first-round pick, but he's good enough. I think if he had a year, he could be a first-round pick. He's just not that tall, you know?
But you know who reminds me of a young him? The guy they just brought in from Florida, Ricky Adarica. He's a little bit taller. I'm telling you, he's going to be a similar type of player for us, hopefully. Anyways, so he's a true freshman.
Well, you know, they got Jalen Harvey, they got Anai White, they got Denai, they got Zane, Caleb Artis.
Jalen Harvey should have a good year.
Dude, they need to put Anai White at like the right edge because that guy needs to play. Max Granville, Malachi.
Max Granville.
Liam Andrews is in there too.
Mm-hmm.
I have Max Granville second, but behind DBS.
Deion Barnes likes
you know, on the offensive side, man, you got Drew Shelton, and you got Javen Williams, man. You got Javen Williams, Birchmeyer as backup still, and then Cooper Cousins. He takes the spot of that guy that left, but you know, Nolan Rucci, that transfer, Cooper Cousins, Nick Dawkins, Vega, Drew Shelton. I mean, you got guys that we got a ton of depth, man.
But Rucci,
and then again, like a running back, dude. Our problem is we're gonna have guys transferring. That's how many guys we got a running back.
Rucci showed out last year, man.
Like,
Rucci
we're stacked,
looked really good.
We are stacked.
But Anthony Donka, I think he's better.
Yeah, that's the thing. But Donka's coming off the injury. We'll see when he's good to go.
Yeah, we'll see.
You got to put them both in, man, because Rucci's run blocking is very good, just like Donka.
6 offensive linemen, 7.
Yeah,
I mean, Anthony Donka, bro, like he's already a freak, but you may as well put the senior in there since he's older.
Donka's a redshirt sophomore coming up this year. He was a redshirt freshman last year. He's mauling people.
He's huge.
Yep.
I mean, we showed that picture of him, man, on Instagram.
Huge.
That like side by side comparison.
Yep.
What channel was that, Brett? That we showed that?
I can't remember, man. There's so many pages now on there. Oh man.
But Matt, is there anything else you want to talk about?
No, I mean, listen, I think we covered everything. We obviously talked about the receivers, talked about the transfer portal. We talked about kind of the coaching expectations with obviously 2 new, at least Knowles, and then obviously Kolnick, you knew last year coming in. And I think everyone's expectation is for them to win the national championship this year. I mean, that's mine. My expectation is for them to win the national championship, and I think they will.
Like, look at that right there.
Yep.
Bro, this girl looks like a child next to him. Look at that.
I'd look like a child next to him, Mark.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm 6'3", 180.
Well, this girl's probably like 5'2", you know?
Yeah, probably.
How tall are you, Matt?
6'3".
Yeah, you're not that far off.
Donko's 6'5", so yeah. But he's thick. I mean, look, he's huge.
He's freaking huge, man. Look at that. Like that guy, he's not even like the same realm as this girl.
So, Mark, what do you have? Where do you have them? Where do both of you guys? I guess before we sign off tonight, where do you see them finishing this year? Obviously,
I see us winning the Big Ten. We're going to take the Big Ten, man. We're going to win it, and then we're going to get to the Natty. I hope we win it. I don't know if we're going to, but we're going to get to the Natty. I think it's going to be Penn State versus Texas for the Natty. Possible. Because if not Texas, who? Think about it.
I mean, I've got
maybe Clemson, because Clemson has a lot coming back. But I like Kate Klubnik. He's a good quarterback. They have some receivers coming in. They have was it Ryan Wingo? He was a true freshman last year. He was really good. Or Lesko.
And a nice shitty conference.
Yeah, it's a crappy conference, but
I mean, we got we got 3 wins here. Oregon, I think will win because,
Yeah.
you know,
they lost a lot. Yeah.
We'll see.
They lost.
Ohio, Iowa. I mean, dude, Iowa. It's at Iowa, right? Yeah.
We can play our practice squad against Northwestern and beat them by 30.
I might go to that UCLA game. It'd be nice to go see a game at the Rose Bowl again.
I mean, Iowa, dude.
We got to play Nico now. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, Nico's at UCLA.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. I don't know how we're gonna do, honestly, because we got Oregon, we got Ohio State.
All our hard games are at home except for Ohio State.
I mean, I've said it a million times. Like, this is our year against Ohio State. But
that'll be Drew's second time going out there. I'll be ready for it.
I mean, that's gonna be a huge game, bro.
At Rutgers.
But here's the thing, man. Like, Ohio State, I don't think is gonna be that good next year.
And they'll be a top 5 or 6 team, but I could see them struggling at times. They're just
like
they have
I don't know
too much.
I don't know if Ohio State. Let me see what their schedule is here. So they got Texas. Texas is the home. Texas is the opener, bro.
Yeah.
I don't think they win that game.
No.
I would be surprised if they did.
They're going to lose to Ohio.
Yeah, I don't think Sarkisian's a good coach, Mark. I mean, I don't think he's bad, but I don't think he's elite.
I don't even know if they're going to be. We'll see.
I would
Wisconsin,
be if they
that could be a game, but I don't know if they're undefeated coming into our game.
Wisconsin's garbage.
But yeah, I think we're good, guys. We're all yawning. I'm yawning because I was golfing today.
Yeah, it's been a long one.
And it was like hot and humid.
It
was nice
on
out today,
when the portal window closes, and then that way we'll have a very clear.
Yeah, once if we get another guy, but Matt, it's always good to have you on, man. Thanks for coming on.
Both you guys, and don't be surprised if you get both.
We're gonna get both linebackers. Well, we're gonna get the one we want real quick is the guy from Rutgers. That's Torre's brother, and he's a 7th-year senior because he was out 2 years, kind of like Zariah Fisher. He missed 2 full years. He's more advanced than Amari Campbell from North Carolina. The film breakdown that our boy did, Landon Tangwell, shows that the Rutgers guy's better. So we want him if we're only going to get one. But we'll take
Matt, you think we're going to get another receiver, right? You think it's possible?
No. They need defense. They need linebacker, maybe defensive tackle.
I
think you don't think Roberts. I think with Robertson transferring changes the dynamic because I think that was a little unexpected. So to me, their focus is linebacker, 1 if not 2, and maybe some beef up front at defensive tackle. I just, even if something fell in their lap, I think their focus is those 2 positions now with Robertson leaving.
All right. Well, guys, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next time. I don't know if I guess Brett and I will still record tomorrow, but yeah, we will see you guys next time we're on. Matt, again, thanks for coming on, man. Good to see you.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Yep. See you.